Hey everyone, welcome. I see we have Cindy in here, hello, and 00077, hello, welcome. We're going to, let's see, can you guys see me? Is it streaming? Looks frozen on my part. Let's see. So weird, it's showing frozen for me. Hold on one second. Okay, I think we're good. I had to unplug and replug. Okay. Wow, I haven't done a live stream in a very long time, can you tell? But okay. How's everyone doing? I see Paigey is here. Hello. Seven is here. No justice, no peace. Hello. Gamma, hi. Thanks everyone for showing up. I just decided it was time to do a live stream because one, it's spooky season, and two, I like live streaming and I missed you guys. Plus, I did a pretty cool backdrop, so I wanted to show that off. Outrum, hey, good to see you. It's been a while. Can you guys hear me okay? I know Paige, said the volume was a little bit low. Let me see. But... oh, Darkest Hour, AJ, hello. Hi. Welcome. Oh, okay. Paige says, my audio is a little low, but phone sucks, so okay, so it might be you. I'll turn it up a little bit. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so how's everybody doing? What's going on? How's life going? Missed you all. I have some caffeine with me, and I thought this was cute. It's Frankenstein. Oh, there he is. Frankenstein. And then for my water tonight, I have my cauldron mug. So we're all set. And AJ, yes, hello. Paige and I were discussing today how we miss you. I feel like last year it was so crazy, but in a different way. And this year it's just insane. It's insane. So everyone's doing their spooky season stuff, their October collabs and everything. So we're all super busy. Let's see. So basically for tonight, usually we have like, it's kind of just like free flow. We play a game and things like that. But tonight what we're going to do is I'm actually going to narrate The Legend of Sleepy Hollow that was adapted by Paige Turner. And I'll go ahead and I'll just be recording the audio as I'm narrating it. So if I'm not answering the chat, it's just because I'm reading and narrating. Because last time I tried to do a live reading, my fault, I was like reading and then looking at the chat, reading and looking at the chat, and you can't get into the story that way. So I figure I'm just going to read a few pages, then I'll go into, take a break, go into the chat, read what you guys are saying. Feel free to ask any questions, feel free to have conversations, and then I'll just kind of talk to you guys after the first break of my reading. And Rose, hi, how are you? Might be an audio thing, I can only hear out of my left earbud. Huh. Let's see. Audio. Let's see. Is anyone else having audio issues? From, let's see. So I have my volume pretty much all the way up. It's on. Let's see. Hey Anthony, how are you? Okay, Cindy says it's fine. Outram says it's fine. Okay, I think we're good. I'll move a little bit closer to the mic. Maybe that's it. I don't like putting my mic too high, the volume too high while I'm recording, because then it gets all that excess background stuff. That's, ugh, we hate that. So, okay, let's go ahead and let me get set up here. Pretty good for an old guy. Cool. All right, and Darkus says she can hear me over here. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Great, Rose. All right, so he can hear me from both now. Wonderful. All right, great. So for those of you who just tuned in, like I said, I'm just going to start narrating The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, adapted by Paige Turner. And I'm going to take breaks to read the chat, but please feel free to chat amongst yourselves and ask any questions. And I'm just setting up over here now, getting the story ready. I don't think, I've never done like a full story narration. I've always done like little short stories. So I'm gonna turn this volume off, or this music off, so that we don't have that in the audio, because what is going to happen is this is going to be turned into a video, so the narration will be, the audio part will be a video. So okay, I'm gonna start. I think Paige said her phone's being a D, so all right. Okay. And let me hit record, because I know I was like telling myself a million times today, I was like, make sure you hit record so you don't forget to actually record the narration. So here we go. Okay. The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, written by Washington Irving. Found among the papers of the late Diedrich Knickerbocker. On the eastern shore of the Hudson, at the heart of a spacious cove near the Tappan Zee Bridge, there lies a small rural port. It is properly known as Tarrytown, but some call it Greensburg. It was named by the housewives of sailors who lingered in the tavern on market days. 2 miles away, there is a little valley among high hills, which is the quietest place in the world. A small brook runs through it, just gently enough to lull one to sleep. Quail and woodpeckers are almost the only sounds to break the perfect tranquility. As a child, my first time... let me redo that one. As a child, my first time squirrel hunting was in a grove of walnut trees that shaded one side of the valley. I wandered in at noon when all nature is particularly quiet, and was startled by the roar of my own gun breaking the perfect stillness. If I ever wish to leave my troubling life and world of distractions, there is no better place than this little valley. For those qualities afford the strange character of his... Let me redo that. For those qualities and for the strange character of its inhabitants, who are descended from the original Dutch settlers, the glen became known as Sleepy Hollow. The wild children living there were called the Sleepy Hollow Boys throughout the neighboring countries. A drowsy, dreamy influence hangs over the land, spreading through the atmosphere. Some say the place was cursed by a German witch doctor during the early days of settlement. Others, that an old Indian chief held powwows there before the land was discovered by Master Hendrik Hudson. It is certain that some spell still holds power over the minds of the good people, causing them to remain lost in fantasy. They have all kinds of marvelous beliefs. They are prone to trances, strange visions, and hearing music or voices. The neighborhood is filled with local tales, haunted spots, and twilight superstitions. Shooting stars and meteors race across the valley more often than anywhere in the country. It seems to be a favorite trick of evil spirits. The ghost that commands the most power is the apparition of a headless man on horseback. Some claim he is the ghost of Hessian. I think it's Hessian. Okay. Let me redo that. The ghost that commands the most power is the apparition of a headless man on horseback. Some claim he is the ghost of a Hessian soldier who was beheaded by a cannonball during the Revolutionary War. Now, the country folk see him hurrying along in the gloom of night as if carried by the wind. He is not confined to the valley and often extends his haunts to the connecting roads, especially to the nearby church. Respected historians who have carefully studied these stories claim that the soldier's body is buried in the churchyard and that his ghost rides to the scene of a battle in a nightly search for his head. The rushing speeds at which he passes through the holly... The rushing speeds at which he passes through the hollow are attributed to his hurry to reach the church before sunrise. This is the event that many of the region's scary stories are based on. The specter is known as the Headless Horseman of Sleepy Hollow. These visions are not exclusive to the valley's natives, but affect anyone who resides there for a time. However, no comma there. Okay, see? Redo. However aware they are when entering that sleepy region, they eventually succumb to the witching influence and begin. Okay, let's redo that one. However aware they are when entering that sleepy region, they eventually succumb to the witching influence and begin seeing apparitions. I mention this peaceful spot with all possible praise. It is in such valleys that population manners and customs remain fixed while the outside world passes by unnoticed. They are like little nooks of still water bordering a rapid stream, undisturbed by the passing currents. Though many years have passed since I walked the drowsy lanes of Sleepy Hollow, nothing has changed. Some 30 years ago, a man named Ichabod Crane came... Let me take a sip. Okay. Some 30 years ago, a man named Ichabod Crane came to Sleepy Hollow in order to teach the children. He was from Connecticut, a state which supplied the Union with pioneers for the mind as well as the forest. Each year they sent woodsmen and teachers throughout the country. The name Crane fit his appearance. He was tall and lanky with narrow shoulders, long limbs, and feet like shovels. His head was small but flat on top with huge ears, green glassy eyes, and a long nose. From a distance, one could mistake him for a famine victim or a scarecrow. His log schoolhouse was His log schoolhouse was a low building with one large room, and the windows were half glazed, half stuffed with leaves. When vacant, it was locked with a flexible twig twisted in the door handle and stakes set against the shutters. The school was built in a secluded but pleasant location at the foot of a wooded hill next to an impressive birch tree and brook. From there, one might hear the low murmur of students studying their lessons, often interrupted by their teacher's commanding tone as he urged the lazier children along the path of knowledge. He was a conscientious man. Okay. Whew. Brain. Baby brain. Well, blame that on baby brain, although it's even if I didn't have baby brain, I probably wouldn't be able to have said that first try. Conscientious man. Okay. All right, we got it, guys. All right, we're going to redo that part. He was a conscientious man and always remembered the golden rule: spare the rod and spoil the children. Ichabod Crane's students were not spoiled. He was not cruel. He did not enjoy disciplining them. His punishments were dealt with discrimination. The weak were not stricken with the same force as the strong. The weak were not stricken with the same force as the strong, disrespectful brats who sulked and squirmed beneath the paddle. Ichabod called this doing his duty by parents. He never administered spankings without reassuring the students they would appreciate the gesture as adults. When school ended, he was even a friend to the older boys. On holiday afternoons, he escorted the younger children home if they had pretty sisters or mothers who might feed him as thanks. It benefited him to stay on good terms with the students. The salary from his school was scarcely enough to buy daily bread. Though skinny, he possessed the consumption powers of an anaconda. It was customary in those parts for the children's parents to house their teacher. With that assistance, he survived week to week, making his rounds through the neighborhood with all his worldly possessions tied in a cotton handkerchief. To prevent things from being too inconvenient on his host's wallet, who often considered him a grievous burden, he had various ways to make himself useful. He occasionally assisted farmers in their lighter chores, making hay, mending fences, watering horses, driving cows from pasture, and cutting wood. Ichabod laid aside the dominant ego which he lorded in his schoolhouse empire, becoming wholly gentle and kind. He found favor with the mothers by coddling the youngest children. He would sit with one child on his knee while rocking a cradle with his foot for hours at a time. In addition to his other skills, he was the best singer in the neighborhood and often earned extra money by teaching the young... Okay, let's redo that. In addition to his other skills, he was the best singer in the neighborhood and often earned extra money by teaching the young children hymns. On Sundays, Ichabod proudly gathered his chosen singers to stand in front of the church, where, in his mind, he completely stole the show from the pastor. It is certain his voice was the best of the congregation, and to this day, his students' descendants can still be heard singing on Sunday mornings. It was by these clever strategies the worthy teacher got along and was thought to have an easy life. In the rural neighborhoods, women generally regarded the schoolmasters as important men with superior taste and accomplishments when compared to laborers. When they come to dinner, special desserts are made, and the fine silver is used. Ichabod, therefore, was particularly happy in the country women's company. In the churchyard on Sundays, he visited with each lady, gathering grapes and reciting poetry as his country bumpkin counterparts envied his elegance from a distance. Thanks to his well-traveled lifestyle, Ichabod was also a walking gossip factory, which meant his arrival was always met with satisfaction. Women respected him as an intelligent man for the many books he read, and he was an expert on Cotton Mather's History of New England Witchcraft, in which he firmly believed. He was actually an odd mixture of shrewdness and gullibility. His hunger for the extraordinary and ability to understand it were equally remarkable, and heightened by the spellbound region. No tale was too gross or monstrous for his curiosity. After school, he often lay in the After school, he often laid in the clover patches nearby and read old Mather's scary stories until it was too dark to see the words. Then, at the witching hour, he made his way past the swamp, stream, and awful woodland to the farm where he was currently staying. Every sound of nature excited his imagination, from the redo. Every sound of nature excited his imagination, from the moaning whippoorwills to the foreboding cry of the tree toads. The fireflies sparkled vividly in the darkest places, startling Ichabod when they shot across his path. If a large beetle surprised him, he thought it came from a witch. His way to combat the evil spirits was to sing hymns. The people of Sleepy Hollow were often filled with awe at hearing his nasal melody floating along the dusky road. Okay, we're going to break here. All right. Okay, let's see the chat. Okay. Ooh, I missed a lot. Okay, hope you guys enjoyed the first 5 pages so far. Let's see. Hey, Wolf, nice to see you. Hello, hello. Okay, let's see. Anthony, it's 85 outside. Yep, it was so hot in Texas today. Always, always, always. Okay. Hold on, I'll figure that out in Celsius. Hey, Wolf, Anthony. Yes, still hot. Been a while. Hi, Sean. How are you? How are you? 70. Okay. Okay. Oh, Justice said my audio is glitching. Was it glitching for anyone else? Doesn't look like it. Okay, 7 said it's fine on her end. Cindy said audio is okay. Okay. Hey Omar, welcome, welcome. Okay. Thank you, Paige. She said I was doing fantastic. Cool. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Alright, cool. So, Mr. Dreadful is in playing with Baby Dreadful, and I hear him making... He does a high-pitched voice because Baby's in his mama era, like where he just wants me all the time, and I love it. It's like the most amazing feeling ever. But when I'm doing other stuff, my husband speaks in a very high-pitched tone, and I'm listening, like I can hear him in the other room going, hi, hi, and it's very funny to me. But yes. Oh, I love Big Lots. We don't, do we have, yeah, our Big Lots is like, kind of like 45 minutes away, so I don't go often. That one bad apple. Did I miss something? I just passed by a Big Lots where Xmas tree's already up. That's just... Oh, yeah. So my friend, she actually told me today, she's like, oh my goodness, I went to go buy some Halloween decor and TJ Maxx just had all of their Christmas stuff out. And that to me is just really sad. It's like, can you at least give it until October 10th to let people get their stuff? I know a lot of stuff was coming out in July, but let us have our moment, you know? Let us spooky people have our spooky season. And it must be virgin. We just got a brand new Big Lots. Nice. Yeah, it's crazy how many people are putting out their Christmas decor already. Not people, but like the companies. Okay, I'm going to take some water because I had some coffee, but you know, coffee doesn't help the vocal cords. Okay. All right, cool. All right, so yes, exactly, Lone Wolf. Give Halloween some air. Yeah, mine too, Paige. Pretty much like my Halloween stuff, like my trees. Remember last year, for those of you that were in the stream last year, we named our trees. Paige, do you remember their names? I think it was Lavendra, and I don't remember the other one. I think we might have named her Elvira, to be honest with you. But I did name my new car Elvira, so we can't have too many Elviras, but it's okay. The tree came first. Okay, bye, Seven. Thank you so much for stopping in. Seriously, I really appreciate it, and I will see you soon. Lavendra. Yeah, it was. It was Lavendra. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up. Not finish up, but I do the next part of the story, and Judy. Yes, Judy's here. Judy is here. Can you see her? No, that's Skull. See, I'm so bad with this. Okay. Judy's right here, and she's got her little witch hat on. Oh my god, you got a new Harry Potter wand, Paige? I'm so jealous. Yes, please send me a photo of it. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start up again, and then I'll come back to the chat, and then we'll have some chitty chat time. Oh, and it's custom made? Psh, super jealous. Okay, more on that wand later. I'm going to put a pin in that and remember to ask you all the questions. Okay. Okay. In the winter months, he enjoyed sitting by the fire as wives roasted apples and tended their needlework because they shared stories of the local haunts and headless horsemen. In return, he delighted them with witchy anecdotes, dreadful omens, and old Connecticut legends. Though they were frightened by his speculations of comets and meteors, especially coupled with the knowledge our world sits at an angle, rotating. On his subsequent walk homes, he paid for these pleasures in terror. Frightening shapes and shadows haunted his path in the dim glow of snowy nights. He eyed every trembling ray of light that reflected from distant windows. Several times along his routes, he mistook the snow-covered shrubs for ghosts or shrank with fright at the sound of his own steps on the frosty ground. He could not look over his shoulder for fear of what he might see, and he was often dismayed by blasts of wind howling through the trees, believing it was the galloping Hessian on Hessian. I think it's Hessian. Okay. I'm gonna say Hessian. If not, I can go back and edit it later. Okay. So I'm gonna redo that one. And he was often dismayed by blasts of wind howling through the trees, believing it was the galloping Hessian on his nightly ride. However, these were merely terrors created by the mind. Though Ichabod had seen many ghosts, daylight brought an end to all those evil spirits. He would still have led a pleasant life despite the devil's work had he not crossed paths. Redo that one. He would still have led a pleasant life despite the devil's work had he not crossed paths with an entity far worse than ghosts, goblins, or the whole race of witches combined, a woman. Once a week, Ichabod gave music lessons, and one of his students was Katrina. Okay. Once a week, Ichabod gave music lessons, and one of his students was Katrina Van Tassel, the only child of a substantial Dutch farmer. She was a beautiful, flirty 18-year-old with rosy cheeks and was adored by all. Her charms were perfectly accented by a mixture of old and modern fashions. She often wore a short petticoat and gold jewelry, which her great-great-grandmother brought over from Sardam. Ichabod Crane had a soft spot for women, and it's no surprise he favored Katrina. Why can't I say Katrina? Okay. Ichabod Crane had a soft spot for women, and it's no surprise he favored Katrina. Her father, old Baltus Van Tassel, was a thriving, content, liberal-hearted farmer. He seldom thought of anything beyond his happy, comfortable farm. He was satisfied with his wealth and did not spend it frivolously. His home was in one of those green, sheltered nooks on the Hudson beneath the branches of a great elm tree. At the bottom was a spring of the sweetest sparkling well water which ran through the grass to a neighboring brook. Next to the farmhouse was a spacious barn big enough for redo. Next to the farmhouse was a spacious barn big enough for a church. Every window and corner were filled with the farmer's prized tools. Swallows flew around the eaves, and rows of pigeons enjoyed the sunshine atop the roof. Heavy, grunting pigs ran about their large pens, while squadrons of snowy geese swam in a connecting pond with ducks, and turkeys gobbled through the yard. A crowing rooster dug into the deer. Let me redo that. Heavy, grunting pigs ran about their large pens, while squadrons of snowy geese swam in a connecting pond with ducks, and turkeys gobbled through the yard. A crowing rooster dug into the dirt and called his family to enjoy the delicious worms. The teacher's mouth watered as he imagined the delicious holiday feast. He pictured every pig already roasted with an apple in its mouth with a side of bacon carved out. The pigeons were put in pies and covered in crust. These geese swam in their own gravy, and the ducks in onion sauce around the turkey's neck. Oops. Okay. These geese... let me redo that. Hold on. Okay. These geese swam in their own gravy, and the ducks in onion sauce around the turkey's neck hung a necklace of savory... Savory? Oh, okay. We'll get it. We'll get it this time. Okay. These geese swam in their own gravy, and the ducks in onion sauce. Around the turkey's neck hung a necklace of savory sausages, and even the rooster lay sprawling as a side dish. Ichabod liked all of these, and then he saw the fields of wheat, rye, buckwheat, and corn. The orchards surrounding Van Tassel's home were overflowing with fruit, and his heart yearned for the lady who would inherit them. He dreamed of selling them quickly so he might purchase large tracts of wild land to build upon. His busy imagination already realized his hopes and included Katrina with a whole family loaded in a wagon with all the household trimmings. Then he included himself atop a pacing mare with a colt at her heels, setting out for Kentucky or Tennessee. Once he entered the house, Katrina's hold on his heart was complete. It was spacious with sloping roofs and built in the style learned from... okay. Once he entered the house, Katrina's hold on his heart was Ooh, the second round's a little bit harder. Okay, I'm going to take a sip of coffee. Okay. Once he entered the house, Katrina's hold on his heart was complete. It was spacious with sloping roofs. Okay. It was spacious with sloping roofs and built in the style learned from the first Dutch settlers. The low hanging eaves from a porch along the front that is capable of being closed up in bad weather. It is where the flails, harnesses, and fishing nets were kept. A spinning wheel sat at one end and a churn at the other. Benches were built along the sides for summer use, and from there Ichabod entered the hall, which was the heart of the mansion. Rows of impressive pewter dazzled his eyes. In one corner stood a bag of wool ready to be spun, and in the other was a pile of fresh off the loom, ears of corn and strings of dried apples hung along the wall with red peppers. Through an open door he saw into the parlor where claw-footed chairs and mahogany tables shone like mirrors. The fireplace, irons glistened, and conch shells decorated the mantel while colorful eggs were strung above it. A great ostrich egg hung in the center of the room, and an open cupboard displayed old silver and china. From the moment Ichabod saw From the moment Ichabod saw these delights, he focused his efforts on gaining Katrina's affection. For this endeavor, he imagined himself as a knight storming the castle gates to rescue the captive princess. But reality proved more challenging. He had to win the heart of a vibrant, clever woman while engaging in... He had to win the heart of a okay, redo. He had to win the heart of a vibrant, clever woman while engaging in cutthroat competition against other suitors. His most formidable adversary... Okay, after this page, we're going to take a break. His most formidable adversary was a strong, burly man named Abraham, who was considered a local hero. His most formidable adversary was a strong, burly man named Abraham, who was considered a local hero for his amazing strength. He was a broad-shouldered, with short, curly black hair and a pleasant face. His strength earned him the nickname Broom Bones, and he was famous for his skill with horses. As the strongest man in a country town, he settled all disputes with a tone of finality that left no room for argument. He would fight if necessary, but his heart was filled with more mischief than cruelty. Beneath his rugged exterior was a great sense of humor. He had 3 or 4 friends who looked up to him as a role model and followed him around on his travels. During the winter months, he was recognized by his fox-tailed fur hat. Sometimes his group would ride through town in the middle of the night, laughing and cheering. Their neighbors woke with a mixture of awe, admiration, and goodwill. When any prank or brawl occurred in the vicinity, all shook their heads, knowing Brom Bones was behind it. Redo. When any prank or brawl occurred in the vicinity, all shook their heads, knowing Brom Bones was behind it. Though this unruly hero displayed his affections for Katrina in rude, lustful ways, it was said she did not reject his company. His advances were meant to discourage rivals. When his horse was tied outside Van Hassel's home on Sunday nights, all other suitors paused by this. Okay. Let's see. His advances were meant to discourage rivals. When his horse was tied outside Van Tassel's home on Sunday nights, all other suitors passed by in despair. Okay, I'm gonna take a break now. Okay, let's see. Okay, who do we have here? Let's see. Oh, hey, Derek. Hi. Nice to see you. Let's see. Paige said, I remember Judy. Okay, we said that. Oh, okay. Paige, please tell me more about this custom Harry Potter one that you got. And, okay. Bye, Omar. He left already. Oh, fun, Lone Wolf. Awesome. How was the bike ride? Was it nice and is it cool out by you? Oh, I'm sorry, Lone Wolf. I get what you mean. It's hard because, like, everyone's just been so crazy. Like, I just feel like this year was so busy for everyone. Like, it was, like, really crazy. Paige. Thank you. So Paige sent me a video on Discord of her wand, so I'm very excited. Okay, I'm going to end the stream now so I can go see the video. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, that's amazing, Paige. That is so cool. Oh my god, did I forget to say happy birthday to you? If I did, happy birthday, Paige. I know I'm a month, like 2 months late. Almost. I think I did say happy birthday, did I? If not, I'm so sorry. I had Hunter around your birthday. So did my parents. Cool. Yeah, so I didn't forget. Okay, oh, thank God, because I'm like, wait a second. I swear, they say baby brain is like a thing, and I'm starting. Oh, my hair's all crazy. Sorry. I feel like it totally is sometimes. I made pumpkin eggnog yesterday. That sounds really good. I've had, what was it? The pumpkin eggnog. I think it's like the Hood one. I think it's called Hoods. I've had that before. It's really good. Oh, thank you, Wolfie. Yeah, we're gonna be doing more streams. I said so. I'm so contradictory sometimes. One day I did like what is it called, an Instagram story, and I was just like, hey guys, like October's gonna be fun, but I'm not gonna be doing too many streams. I'm just gonna be doing my regular content. So I'll do like premieres and things like that, but no more streams for the foreseeable future. I did that because I'm pretty sure I was really overwhelmed that day because baby might have been crazy, crying and stuff like that, and I was just like, yeah, there's no way I can possibly do a stream. But he's been, knock on wood, so good. Like he's a really good baby, I will say. He has his moments, of course, because he's a baby, but for the most part, he's been good. We have like some kind of little schedule going on where he wakes up and then we feed him, or I feed him, and then we play for a little bit. He's like able to pick his head up for a long time now, which is great. Not like a long time, but like for us it's a long time because he just started lifting his head. We do like tummy time, it's called, with him. He's really strong. This is why I was calling him Goku when he's in my belly, and I still call him little Goku. I have a million nicknames for him though, so yeah, the 13th. But yeah, so I got on Instagram. I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be doing too many streams, sorry guys. And then I got really into just like my background. I set it up and everything. I was like, this would be such a waste not to do live streams this season. So I went ahead, and that same day I recorded so much that day, and then I decided to just set up a live stream. And the thing about it is, I don't like disappointing you guys. So if I set up a live stream, I'm gonna show up unless something happens. Like the last live stream I canceled was because I was pretty much about to have my baby that week. So I was not in the best, not mood, I wouldn't say. It was just lots of emotions going on. I was like crazy, just I couldn't stay focused. It was just not, it wouldn't have been a fun stream. And I was having like those like fake contractions, the Braxton Hicks contraction, so I didn't want to be on camera and be like, oh my god, like I feel like I'm having a contraction. So we didn't do that. Sorry if that was TMI. But okay, cool. I'm gonna take another sip and then go on to the next few pages. Oh no, I would have never done a hospital live stream. Absolutely not. No. I was going to do like a live stream. I think it was like the week of, I think it was the week he was born, actually, because my camera had died during one of the live streams. Then Mr. Dreadful bought me some battery thing to extend it so it doesn't happen tonight. And I was like, oh yeah, let me do the follow-up live stream. And then I was just not having it. So the Tony Braxton contractions, yes, thank you for remembering. So Mr. Dreadful was calling them Tony Braxton contractions. It was just a funny thing, and I told Derek that, and I think I posted about it too. Yeah, I did post about it too. But Mr. Dreadful is hilarious. He literally just makes me laugh. Oh yeah, and look it, my cool shirt is back. My favorite Halloween shirt. And I wore my matching earrings, but I forgot I have black hair now, so you guys can't see any of my black earrings, but yeah. Yeah, so I feel like I'm saying yeah a lot, but this coffee is so good. So, alright, before I go back into reading, also I don't want to lose my voice because that happens a lot. Thank you, Paige. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so my coffee. I've been doing like coffee creations because one, Starbucks is just so expensive, and I don't really leave my house much except if it's to take a walk or just like, I don't know, I just don't really leave my house much right these days. So I'm like, I'm not gonna drive to Starbucks just to get a coffee that's $6 and like a bunch of calories. So I've been making my low calorie fun drinks, and today I did an iced maple, cinnamon, brown sugar, cold foam iced coffee, I guess we'll call it. And it's like 5 calories because everything is like low sugar or like zero sugar. The brown sugar is even 0 calories. And then I guess it's like 10 calories because of the half and half, but that's fine because I'm doing keto. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. Half and half is like fat and no carbs. So we're good there. But yeah, it tastes so good. It tastes like, I don't know, heaven, a fall heaven. I can't tell. I'm sorry. I'm like listening in because I can hear cooing, but I think it's Mr. Dreadful talking to the baby in my voice again. So if I'm gonna like be recording, and then you're just gonna hear like baby noises in the background, but it's okay. It's okay. We can edit it out, I think. Derek, I'm gonna have to pay you to edit my video. Okay. Let's take a sip of water and then we're gonna start again. Oh yes, and I just want to say this stream is inspired by Derek and Horror on the Rocks and Let's Read because they are the ones that I've seen do like the live readings, and I thought that would be a really cool idea. So I took a page out of Derek's book, pun intended, because we're narrating. Okay, that was my attempt at being funny, but it's okay. We don't have to laugh at that. Mom jokes. I love baby noises. Me too. Oh my god, they're the best. They're the best. I hate the screaming crying though. That to me, it kills me inside. Like whenever he's crying, it's like, what do you want? What can I do for you? Please stop crying. But the cooing, holy god. Like he started cooing and smiling, and I'm just like, I melt every single time. Like we'll just be sitting there and I make up the silliest songs, and like if I do like this to his cheek, like right here, I don't know, for some reason he loves when I do that, and then he just starts smiling, and then I start smiling, and it's just like a whole thing. I love it. It's so crazy, like the feeling of being a mom. Oh, she said, what was my name, the pun? Oh, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, no, I was saying we took a page out of your book because like I'm narrating. I don't know. Ignore me. I'm not funny. I'm not funny. Okay. Cool. Ooh, I didn't mix that well. There was some stevia in there. Okay. Let's see. Where are we at? Okay, so we stopped here. Okay, so we're about halfway through. Okay, let me not scroll down too far because I will lose my place. Okay. Ichabod was dealing with a formidable foe. A stouter man would have backed down from the competition, and a wiser man would have worried, but Ichabod possessed a God, okay. Let me redo that. Okay. Ichabod was dealing with a formidable foe. A stouter man would have backed down from the competition, and a wiser man would have worried, but Ichabod possessed a happy mixture of flexibility and perseverance in his nature. He was yielding but tough, and though he bent, he never broke. He may have bowed beneath the slightest pressure, but when it was gone, he walked away with his head held. Okay. He may have bowed beneath the slightest pressure, but when it was gone, he walked away with his head held high as ever. Nope, that wasn't it. He may have bowed beneath the slightest pressure, but when it was gone, he walked away with his head held high as ever. To face his rival head-on would have been madness. Brahm was not a man to be thwarted. Therefore, Ichabod's advances were smooth and subtle. He visited the farmhouse frequently as a singing instructor, but not much was gained in those visits. Her meddlesome parents were quite the hurdle. Balt Van Tassel was an indulgent soul and was always nearby, enjoying his pipe. He loved his daughter even more than his tobacco and spoiled her greatly. Oh, baby's crying. Okay, I'm gonna pause because okay, cool. I don't want the crying noise to come through in the recording, so I'll just wait till he's done. Mr. Dreadful's got him, so don't worry. He's being attended to. I hung out with him all day today. It was so much fun. So I took him on a walk. I started doing a it's a 31-day challenge for breast cancer. So it's a stroller walk. So you take your baby and you walk pretty much a mile every single day. So we did like a mile and 1.15 miles today. We went out early because it's hot in Texas. So Ichabod, cool name. Yeah, Ichabod is a cool name. That'll be I was gonna say my next child, but we're one and done. We love our little guy. We're done though. The newborn experience is it's been fun, but yeah, no, next time I have, maybe I'll get another tree and we'll name him Ichabod. Actually, you know what? We're gonna name this tree Ichabod because we have Lavendra, and now we're gonna have Lavendra and Ichabod because I don't remember what the other name was. So there we go. Thanks, Derek. Thanks for that. Yeah, so I think he's gonna stop crying. I think he stopped crying. Get a horse and name him Ichabod. I wish. A horse would be so cool. We don't even have enough backyard space for like our dog. So our dog, I don't call him dog. He's Anakin. He's our first child. But yeah, that's the one thing about this area in Texas that I live in. The backyards are so small, like super super small. Little Annie. Yeah, I know. I love Anakin. He's been so good with the baby and just good in general. The other, like today, Tom says he's just sick of the child, so that's why. But like I left the door open when I was feeding the baby, and Anakin usually comes in and he'll sit at my feet and he'll like hang out with us as I'm feeding him and like, you know, reading him a story. And, you know, I was wondering, I was like, wait, Anakin's not his playpen because we've been just like letting him roam around because he's been so good. So I'm like, where's Anakin? Like, he's not here for story time, you know, whatever. And I finished feeding baby and, you know, about like an hour, we play and he was ready for his nap. I go outside of his bedroom, and then Anakin's just sitting on the couch in our loft area, just hanging out, just sitting there. And Tom, my husband, was just like, okay, I guess he's sick of the baby because he didn't even want to like go in there with you. So yeah, I think he's maybe not jealous, but he's just adapting because he used to be able to sleep in our bed with us every night. Now he doesn't. So, you know, it's just changes for everyone. But I think baby stops crying, so I think we could go. This is how I record now. It's like I'll record as much as I can, and as soon as he starts crying, like I'll either go tend to him if Mr. Dreadful's not tending to him, or like if Mr. Dreadful's taking care of him, I'll like pause and just wait for it to be quiet, and then I'll start recording again. But during the day, I'm on maternity leave still, and Mr. Dreadful is not. So during the day, it's all me, and I don't really record too much during the day. It's usually at that 5 a.m. period when I wake up with him. The first stretch, it's like he wakes up at 5 a.m. and then we get like a full hour, like we hang out, and then by like 6 I'm recording, and then between like 6 and 9 he usually wakes up, so then I get all that recording in. So that's why I figure I'm able to do some good stuff for Halloween, because I have that like that 3-hour stretch where I can record. So okay, cool, let's go ahead and start recording again, and I'll try not to mess up too much. Let's see. Where did I leave off? Ooh, let me just play back where I left off.
Crying.
Oh, nope, that was me.
Enjoying his pipe. He loved his daughter even more than his tobacco, and spoiled her greatly.
Okay, perfect. Sorry that you guys heard me go back. I just had to see where I left off. I'll get better at this eventually, I swear. Okay. His wife was always busy with her housework, but never far away. Meanwhile, Ichabod would carry on with their daughter by the spring under the great elm, or walking along in the twilight hours. I confess to not knowing how women's hearts are won. To me, they are matters of riddle and admiration. Some seem to have only one way to win their affection, while others have 1,000. It is a great triumph to gain the former. 1 second. He's not crying, but he's cooing pretty loudly, so I don't know if you guys can hear. Oh no, now he's crying. Okay. Alright, we're gonna pause. Sorry, guys. This is why I was like, should I do a stream? Yeah, so let's chat a little bit. So, what are you guys thinking of the story so far? Have you guys read Sleepy Hollow? Have you seen the movie with Johnny Depp? It's like one of my favorite movies. So I was really excited. Funny story, Paige gave this to me last year, and I was supposed to do it last Halloween. And I don't know what in the world happened. Every single time I tried to do this story, something came up, or I don't know, I just never recorded it. So this year I saved it, made sure to have it until, made sure to save it until this season. And I was like thinking, what can I do with it that's fun? And that's why I decided to do live stream. Oh, that is right. Yeah, they did make a movie based on the Disney movie. Hey, Gothic Glitch, how are you? Nice to see you. Sleepy Hollow is such a classic. I've seen the Disney short and the Johnny Depp one. Today was the perfect day, Paige. It's like it was meant to be. Right, and the Johnny Depp one. Yeah, you totally should, Gothic. Like, seriously, it's such a classic. It's like one of the, like, when you think of Halloween, you think of that. So, funny story. I grew up in New Jersey and I lived in New York for a while, and I kept saying, like, I want to go to Sleepy Hollow. I want to Sleepy Hollow. I never went to Sleepy Hollow. And because it's a real place, and I was just like, I would always pass it, we would always pass by it. So I think next year we're going to take a trip in the fall to upstate New York in that area, and might take a trip to Sleepy Hollow. I was debating if I wanted to do Salem again. I haven't done Salem in like 11 years, but I don't know, I feel like it's always so crowded around Halloween. So we'll see. The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad. Silent Halloween cartoon from my childhood. Oh my god, that's like childhood memory right there. Unlocked. I love when that happens, when you like talk about something and you're like, oh my gosh. You know what? I just read The Great Pumpkin. It's The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, to Baby Dreadful. And I think that obviously I'm enjoying reading all these books to him, because more than he's enjoying them, because he still doesn't know what anything means yet. So I'm like really into these books, and I like give different characters different like voices. And I played Lucy in one of my plays that I was in You're a Great Man, Charlie Brown. We did a production of it at a like what was it, a performing arts camp that I used to go to, and I played Lucy. You blockhead, you know, she was the best. So okay, we're gonna attempt again. Sorry if I have to pause again, guys. You get it. You get it though. All right, let's see, where are we at? Okay. Okay, clear my voice. Okay. It is a great triumph to gain the former, but it's an even greater victory to maintain a relationship with the latter, because the man must face all types of rivals. This was certainly not the case with Brom Bones. From the moment Ichabod made advances, Brom's interest declined. His horse no longer seen at the farmhouse on Sunday nights, and a deadly feud gradually arose between him and the teacher. If Brom had it his way, the matter would be solved with a duel, but Ichabod was too smart to fight when he was at a clear disadvantage. He had overheard the brute bragging that he would lay the teacher out on his own school, and Mr. Crane was careful not to give the man an opportunity. His tactics were infuriating to Brom. He and his goons were left with no choice but to waste money on pranks. They made loud noises outside his home, smoked out his schoolhouse by blocking the chimney off, and ransacked his classroom so that he might blame witches. What the teacher found most annoying was being ridiculed in Katrina's presence. The brute even trained his dog to whimper during their singing lessons. Things went on this way for a long time without either man making progress. On one fine autumn afternoon, a pensive Ichabod watched over the students from his high stool, holding a scepter made of birch. It was a source of fear for all misbehaved children. On his desk were numerous items of contraband, everything from munched apples to pop guns. His dark mood had the children intently reading their books, and if they whispered to a friend, it was with one eye on their teacher. Class was suddenly interrupted by a dark-skinned man in old clothes. He was riding a half-wild colt with a colt. Okay. Class was... Ooh, no, that's not it. Okay. Class was suddenly interrupted by a dark-skinned man in old clothes. He was riding a half-wild colt with a rope instead of a halter. The stranger clambered up to the door with an invitation for Ichabod to attend a party at the Van Tassel home. After delivering his message, the visitor dashed over the brook and up the hollow, off to his next mission. Now everything was done quickly, as the students were rushed through lessons without pause. Those who were quick-witted skipped more than half without fear of punishment, while slower children were encouraged with a smack on the rear. Books were flung aside, inkstands were overturned, benches were knocked down, and school was dismissed an hour early. Ichabod spent an extra half-hour grooming and dressing. His only suit was a rusty black color, and his only mirror hung on the wall in broken shards. To make a grand entrance, he borrowed... Oh, not borrowed. Okay. To make a grand entrance, he borrowed a friend's horse and set out for the party. The animal, named Gunpowder, was a broken-down plow horse that had outlived everything but his viciousness. He was thin and shaggy with a head like a hammer. His hair was tangled, and one eye had lost its pupil, while the other still had the devil in it. The steed's master was the choleric... Okay. The steed's master was the choleric Van Ripper, and some say he infused part of his own spirit into the animal. There was more of a lurking devil in him than any filly in the country. Ichabod rode with short stirrups which brought his knees close to the pommel. His sharp elbows stuck out like grasshoppers, and he carried his whip like a scepter. As the horse jogged on,
As the horse jogged on, his arms resembled flapping wings. A small wool hat rested atop his nose, covering his small forehead, and the tail of his back black. Okay. I'm going to redo that part. As the horse jogged on, his arms resembled flapping wings. A small wool hat rested atop his nose, covering his small forehead, and the tail of his black coat flapped on the breeze as they left the property of Hans Van Ripper. It was a fine autumn day, and the sky was clear. Some trees were already nipped with frost and turning brilliant colors of orange and scarlet. Wild ducks flew in file, barking squirrels were heard from the hickory groves, and quail whistled pensively from the fields. Small birds were preparing. Redo that part. Small birds were what can I say preparing? Hold on. Word of the day, preparing. Sometimes I do that. I'll mess up and be like, what's the word of the day that I can't say? Okay. Small birds were preparing to fly south for the winter as they fluttered and chirped from bush to bush. As Ichabod rode slowly on his way, he enjoyed every one of these jolly sightings. Apples were all around him, some still in trees, some already placed in baskets. Farther on, he passed golden ears of corn, yellow pumpkin patches, fragrant buckwheat. Okay, I was going too fast. Farther on, he passed golden ears of corn, yellow pumpkin patches, fragrant buckwheat fields, and beehives. There he fantasized of being fed delicious pancakes by his lovely Katrina. It was with those sweet thoughts he traveled along the hills overlooking the mighty Hudson as the sun gradually made its way west. The wide Tappan Zee Bridge prolonged the blue shadow of the distant mountain, and a few amber clouds floated in the windless sky. A small boat lingered in the distance, dropping with the tide while her sail hung uselessly against the mast, and the sky reflected off the still waters, causing the vessel to appear as if it were floating. It was evening when Ichabod arrived at the castle of Heer Van Tassel. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. Okay. It was evening when Ichabod arrived at the castle of Heer Van Tassel. Old farmers appeared with leather faces, homespun clothes, blue stockings, huge shoes, and magnificent pewter buckles. Their wives wore small hats, long gowns, and homespun petticoats. The daughters were dressed almost the same way, except for the occasional fine ribbon or white frock. The sons had short, square-skirted coats with rows of brass buttons, and their hair cut to the fashion of the era. Brom Bones came to the gathering of his favorite steed. It was as mischievous as its master. No one else could handle the fierce horse. The man had a reputation for preferring vicious animals that could break the rider's neck. Inside the mansion were the charms of genuine Dutch country tea tables stacked with platters of delectable. Okay, I'm gonna take a break. Let's stop here and we'll go back. Okay. Oh, did I mess up a word? I'll have to go back to that. Thank you, Derek. Okay, it's scepter. My bad. Sorry. Yeah. Sometimes I read so fast that my brain doesn't catch it. But thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, and I guess the floaty things are because I have super chats now and stuff, so it's brand new, which is cool. Let's see. Cool. Okay. Let's see. What happened to my chat? Where did it go? Oh. What is going on here? Okay. Cool, I can't see the chat now. We've been having some fun problems today on this stream. I don't know where the chat went. There it is. Okay. My God, Danny, get it together. I know. Okay. We are on page number 9. Well, almost 10 of 15. So we're almost done. Let's see. Actually, I have 14. Sorry. Okay, cool. So let's continue. I needed a moment. No, it's so funny. The other day, so I'm doing a pretty awesome long story by Scott Donnelly for Creepypasta Day and Friday the 13th. It's like an 80-page story. And like the other day I sat down and I banged out like 30 pages in one sitting. And I wasn't stumbling over myself. I think like being on camera and reading at the same time is a little bit not nerve-wracking, but it's just different. So because when I'm and there's baby Dreadful. I don't know if you all can hear him. He gets really cranky around this time because he's like, I don't want to go to bed. But yeah, let's see. Actually, okay, let me take a 5-minute break, a BRB break, and we'll be right back. I just want to check on it. Oh, he's good. Okay, I hear Mr. Dreadful leaving the bedroom. Okay, so I guess we're all good. I was gonna say, I'll see him 6 more times before the night ends. I guarantee it, so it's okay. Alright, so Rose said, I'm eating pesto and shrimp pasta. Yum, yum, yum. Ooh, nice, Lone Wolf. I can't wait to see. Are you gonna do a premiere for your next video? I'm thinking of actually doing a premiere for my next video. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I should be. Yeah, actually I am. I think for October I just want to do all premieres because I like premieres. They're fun. It's engaging. I don't even care if only like one person shows up. It's always fun just to chit chat with whoever shows up, you know? Okay, let me take some water. And a sip of coffee for a good measure. And let's do this thing. Okay. The man had a reputation for preferring vicious animals that could break the rider's neck. Inside the mansion were the charms of genuine Dutch country tea table, stacked with platters of delectable... Why can't I read tonight? Okay. Okay. Inside the mansion were the charms of a genuine Dutch country tea table stacked with platters of delectable dishes, cakes, and pies. Ichabod patiently spent ample time with each dish. He was a kind, thankful man whose cheer grew in proportion with his filled stomach, as some men's do with drink. He could not help searching the room with his eyes and chuckling at the notion he might one day be the lord of such a luxury. Then he thought of how fast he would abandon the schoolhouse, snapping his fingers at Hans Van Ripper and any other who would dare call him comrade. Old Baltus Van Tassel cheerfully visited with his guest. His attentions were brief but sincere, whether it was a handshake or invitation to make oneself at home. When the music began, so did the dancing. The musician was an elderly, dark-skinned man who had performed... The musician was an elderly, dark-skinned man who had been performing in the area for over 50 years. He bobbed his head and stomped his feet with every note. Ichabod was Ichabod was as proud of his dancing as he was his singing. To see his loose frame in full swing was like watching a lord of dance move about the room. Not a single part of his body remained idle. Every child from the poor neighborhoods gathered at the windows, eyes wide with delight and grinning ear to ear. Katrina smiled graciously in reply to Ichabod's lustful stares as they danced, and Brom Bones sat brooding alone in the corner, seething with jealousy. When the party ended, Mr. Crane joined the older folks who sat smoking and gossiping about the war with old Van Tassel. There was the story of Doofy Martling, a large blue-bearded Dutchman who almost stole a British frigate? A British frigate. What is it? What's that? I think it's frigate. I'll go back and fix that word if I'm not sure, because I'm not quite sure how to say it. And that's what I always do. If I'm not sure how to say something, I stop and I listen to it being pronounced. But for live stream sake, we'll just read it, and then I'll make a note to go back and redo it if I said it wrong. Okay. Okay. There was a story of Doofy Martling, a large blue-bearded Dutchman who almost stole a British frigate with nothing more than a gun, but it burst on his sixth shot. Then there was a wealthy gentleman who will remain nameless in the Battle of White Plains. He paired a bullet with a small sword and felt it ricochet off the hill. He was always ready to show the dent in his... let me see. Okay. He was always ready to show the dent it left as proof. Many more fought equally well, but these tales were nothing compared to the ghost stories that followed. The neighborhood is rich in those treasures. Local tales and superstitions thrive best in these secluded towns, but the cause for spooky stories in this region was Sleepy Hollow. There was something in the air that blew from that haunted place. It gave life to an atmosphere of dreams and fantasies that spread throughout the land. Several locals from the Hollow attended Van Tassel's gathering and told the wild legend. Several locals from the Hollow attended Van Tassel's gathering and told the wild legends as usual. Very dismal stories were told about funeral processions and mourning cries occurring near the great tree where the unfortunate Major Andre was killed. They also mentioned the woman in white who haunts the dark glen at Raven Rock. She died there in the snow and is often heard screaming on winter nights before a storm. The most interesting stories, however, centered around the Headless Horseman. His patrols were heard more frequently in past months. The secluded church is a favorite haunt of the troubled spirits. It sits on a hill with its white wall shining through the elms. A gentle slope descends from it to a silver sheet of water surrounded by high trees, beyond which are the blue hills of the Hudson. On one side of the church is a large brook running through a wooded hollow. In the past, a wooden bridge stretched over a deep black part of the stream. Due to the overhanging trees, it and the road leading... I don't like how I read that. Hold on. Okay. In the past, a wooden bridge stretched over a deep black part of the stream. Due to the overhanging trees, it and the road leading to it were gloomy even in the day. But at night, it was a frightening darkness. This was a favorite haunt for the Headless Horseman, and where he was most often often. Sometimes I say often. I don't know why. Okay, I'll redo that one. This was a favorite haunt for the Headless Horseman, and where he was most often encountered. Old Brower, a hardcore skeptic, told of how he met the horseman when returning home to Sleepy Hollow and was forced to ride behind him. They galloped over bushes, hills, and swampland until they reached the bridge. Then the horseman suddenly turned into a skeleton and threw Old Brower into the brook before leaping over the treetops with a clap of thunder. Okay, we'll stop there for a moment. And got about a few more pages left. Okay. Oh, thank you. think it's okay to eat the tails. I don't know. I think it's okay. I'm not positive. I know sometimes with like when I'm eating like tempura sushi and they have like the shrimp tails on them, I just eat the whole thing. So I think you're fine. I closed for a second and came back and everything froze and went blank, and then it said a notice about new time or length. Thought I put someone in timeout and almost had a heart attack. Oh, it's okay. Thank you, Paige. She's my one of my, what is it called? Moderators. Oh no. Too late. I can already feel my life slipping away. Oh dear. Okay. We got about 5 more pages to go. So, I'm feeling my throat get like crazy. So, let's go ahead and finish this so that we can chit chat a little bit more. Probably end the stream in like 9 o'clock-ish. I think a 2-hour stream is usually good, right? So let's go ahead and do that. And did I say that part? My memory is crazy tonight. Okay.
To the brook before leaping over the treetops with a clap of thunder.
I don't even remember reading that. Sometimes when I'm like narrating, I get so into the story, I kind of like black out and then I forget where I was. But okay, cool. Sounds good. All right. Okay. This story was immediately outdone by Brom Bones, who marked galloping. Nope. We're gonna redo that. Okay. The story was immediately outdone by Brom Bones, who mocked the galloping Hessian as a jockey. One night, when returning from a nearby town, he was overtaken by the Midnight Rider and challenged him to a race. He claimed his own steed defeated the goblin horse, but as they arrived at the bridge, the Hessian vanished in a flash of fire. These tales were always told in the same drowsy undertone, and the listeners only nodded with polite interest. But Ichabod hung on every word. Oh, baby's crying. Hold on. Yeah, I totally get into the zone for sure. Let me see. Oh no, baby's crying. Let me see. Mr. Dreadful just texted me. He's like, baby's crying, I got it. So he knows the drill. Okay, cool. All right, let's get through these next 5 pages. Okay. Where did I leave off?
These tales were always told in this interest, but Ichabod hung on every word.
Okay. Ichabod hung on every word. Where was that? Okay, here we go. Where did it go? I just saw it. Okay. He repaid them with long excerpts from his favorite author, Cotton Mather, and added extra events that took place in his native state of Connecticut or on his nightly walks around Sleepy Hollow. The party gradually broke up. The old farmers loaded into their wagons, and for a long time they could be heard rattling along the hollow's roads. Some of the ladies mounted behind their lovers, and their light-hearted laughter echoed along the silent woodlands. Ichabod stayed behind to have a moment with Katrina, now fully convinced he was on the road to success. I do not know what was said, but something must have gone wrong. When he left, He was noticeably crestfallen. Could the girl have been at her flirty tricks? Was her encouragement all a ruse to secure her conquest of his rival? Heaven only knows. The disappointed teacher marched out the door and straight to the stable, where he roughly woke his horse from slumber. It was the witching hour when Ichabod made his way... I don't like how I said that. Hold on. Okay. It was the witching hour when Ichabod made his way home alongside the lofty hills. Far below him, a small boat sailed quietly down the river. In the complete silence of midnight, he could even hear the dogs barking on the opposite shores of the Hudson, but it was faint. There were no signs of life near him except the occasional cricket or frog. All the spooky tales he heard that afternoon now came to mind, and the night grew darker as clouds covered the stars. Never had he felt so dismally alone. Never had he felt so dismally alone, and to make matters worse, he was approaching the place where so many of those ghost stories took place. And a numerous tulip tree stood in the center of the road, high above all others, and acted as a landmark in the area. Its limbs were the size of ordinary tree trunks, twisting down towards the ground before rising back up. Being connected to the downfall of the Hessian, it became known as Major Andre's tree. The people regard it with a mixture of respect and superstition, partly out of sympathy for its tragic namesake, and partly for the unfortunate tales told about it. Let me re-say that. Partly out of sympathy for its tragic namesake, and partly from the unfortunate tales told about it. Ichabod began to whistle as he approached this fearful tree, and for a moment thought it answered him. Ichabod began to whistle as he approached this fearful tree, and for a moment thought it answered him, but it was only a sharp blast of wind blowing through the dry branches. As he came closer, he saw something white hanging in the tree. He paused, but upon closer inspection, it was only scorched by lightning. Suddenly, he heard a groan. His teeth chattered and his knees struck the saddle, but it was only two branches rubbing together in the breeze. He passed the tree safely, but new dangers lay before him. 200 yards away, a small brook crossed the road and ran into a marshy wooden glen known as Willie Swamp. A few rough logs bundled together served as a bridge over the stream. To the side where the brook entered the forest, a group of thick oaks and chestnuts cast gloomy shadows over it. Passing the bridge was the severest trial. Okay. Passing this bridge was the severest. Am I saying this right? Severest trial. Okay. Yeah. Whew. Brain fog. Okay. Passing this bridge was the severest trial. That is where Andre was captured after soldiers ambushed him from the grove. Ever since, the stream has been considered haunted, and every schoolchild is afraid to cross it alone at night. As the teacher approached the bridge, his heart began to pound, but he summoned all of his courage. Urging the horse into a run, he attempted to dash across the bridge, but instead of going forward, old Gunpowder turned away. Fear increasing with the delay, Ichabod jerked on the reins and heartily... Fear increasing with the delay, Ichabod... Ooh, sorry, hiccup. Ooh, don't get the hiccups, that would be awful. Hold on. Okay, let's try that again. Fear increasing with the delay, Ichabod jerked on the reins and heartily kicked the animal to turn him around, but it was all in vain. His steed only plunged into a thicket of brambles. But it was all in vain. His steed only plunged into a thicket of brambles on the opposite side of the road. He resorted to using his whip on the poor horse, who then dashed forward, snorting angrily, but came to a sudden halt that nearly threw off his rider. At this moment, a splashing by the bridge caught Ichabod's ear. In the dark shadow of the grove, he saw something huge, misshapen, black, and towering. It did not move, but seemed to meld with the darkness, like a gigantic monster waiting to leap out of the trap. Oops. Let's see. Where can I restart this? Okay, let's just start it from in the dark shadow. Okay. In the dark shadow of the grove, he saw something huge, misshapen, black, and towering. It did not move, but seemed to meld with the darkness, like a gigantic monster waiting to leap out at the traveler. The teacher's hair stood up with... The teacher's hair stood up straight with terror. What was he to do? It was too late to run away. Besides, there was no chance he could outrun a ghost, not one as fast as the wind. Summoning his courage, he stammered. Okay. Okay. Summoning his courage, he stammered, Who are you? But there was no answer. He repeated his demand in an even more agitated voice, and still received no reply. Once more, he kicked poor Gunpowder in the sides, and with his eyes squeezed shut, he burst into song. Just then the shadowy figure moved, and with one giant leap, it was suddenly standing in the road. The night was dark and dismal, but it was now possible to identify the unknown form. Excuse me. It was a large horseman, mounted on a black, muscular steed. He did not stop to speak, but kept running along the road. Ichabod did not enjoy this strange midnight companion, and thinking of the story Brom Bones told, spurred his horse in hopes of leaving him behind. However, the stranger sped up to match his pace. The teacher slowed to a walk in hopes of falling back, but the other did the same. His heart sank. He tried to resume singing, but his dry tongue clung to the roof of his mouth. His companion's ominous... Ominous. I always do that with this word, actually. Let me take a sip. Hold on. Okay. His companion's ominous. No, that was right. Okay. His companion's ominous silence was mysterious and appalling. On the next hilltop, the gigantic traveler was silhouetted in the sky, and Ichabod was horrified to see he was headless. He was even more frightened upon noticing the head was carried on the saddle's pommel. His terror turned into desperation, and he kicked at Gunpowder, hoping to escape, but the here's the word, okay. His terror turned to desperation, and he kicked at Gunpowder, hoping to escape, but the spectre lunged forward as well. They raced along, stones flying and sparks flashing at every turn. Ichabod's baggy clothes fluttered in the wind as he stretched his long body flat over the horse's head. They had now reached the road which veers off to Sleepy Hollow, but Gunpowder, as if possessed, turned plunging downhill. The road leads through a sandy hollow, shaded by trees. It crosses the bridge mentioned in the ghost stories, and just beyond is the whitewashed church atop the green hills. For a moment, the steed's panic appeared to give it unskilled rider. Oh, I said that wrong. For a moment, the steed's panic appeared to give its unskilled rider an advantage in the chase, but the saddle girths came loose halfway through the hollow. Ichabod felt it sliding and seized the pommel, struggling to hold on, but his efforts were in vain. The saddle fell to the ground, trampled by his pursuer, but he managed to grab Gunpowder's neck at the last moment. For a brief instant, the teacher dreaded Hans Van Ripper's wrath because it was the best saddle. Oh. Okay. We've got a few more pages. I'm going to take a break, though. My voice is going. Let's see. Okay. Let's read. Hey there, Horror on the Rocks. How are you? Duchess, hello. Darkest is back. Hi. Okay. Thank you so much, Horror, for the donation. Yes, everyone like the stream. Okay, we have a few more pages left. My throat is just like, when I get to talking and reading too long, it only happens at night, really. Like in the morning, I'm pretty good. I can read and talk for a few hours. I can talk till my voice goes hoarse. I love talking. I guess it's good. That's a good thing I'm a narrator, right? I don't know. Thank you, Paige. I feel like I'm stumbling a lot tonight. I apologize. I feel like I'm like stumbling and it's taking everybody out of the story. But what's going to happen is I'm going to edit it up and then I'm going to take out all the mistakes, put a video to it, and put some pictures to it and upload it as a video. So tonight's kind of just like you getting to see how I narrate when I am alone, I guess. Obviously, no, actually, this is not a real interpretation, because when I'm home in my studio, my hair is usually in a weird, crazy bun. I'm wearing pajamas, no makeup on. So this is fake news right here. It's fake. This is not how I narrate. I sometimes, well, obviously, if I do on-camera narrations, I'm like this, but for the most part, Lululemon leggings, messy bun, oversized t-shirt. That's my jam. Thank you, Darkest. Oh, thank you so much, Duchess. And thank you, Paigey. Okay, cool. All right. Let's have another sip. I feel like I'm gonna regret having coffee, but at the same time, probably not, because I didn't have a lot of coffee. Like, I haven't been having a lot of caffeine lately. It's just usually like one coffee in the morning and a decaf in the afternoon. But I figured, why not indulge tonight and have another non-caffeinated beverage. But cool. Lone Wolf, yes, I know you're getting your video done, which I cannot wait to see. Okay, cool. Let's see. How are we doing? Where did we stop? Okay. Okay, I'm going to start at the saddle fell to the ground. Let's see.
We've got a few.
Okay. This is going to be really fun to edit, guys, because I know I have to go back and check a few of the words to see if I'm saying them right. So it might be like, yeah, it's going to be fun. That's why I wanted to do this tonight, because this is going to be my first video for 13 Nights of Halloween. So I figure that's not until October 19th. So it gives me some time to edit it. So, oh yeah, that's right. I didn't say that. I'm doing a 13 Nights of Halloween this year. So I remember my first year I did 31 Nights of Halloween. I was insane for doing that. I had a lot of time on my hands, I guess. I don't have a lot of time right now. So last year I did 13 nights, and this year we're doing 13 nights again. Okay, let's get this done before I lose my voice. Okay. What did I say? Okay. The saddle fell to the ground. Okay. Here we go. The saddle fell to the ground, trampled by his pursuer, but he managed to grab Gunpowder's neck at the last moment. For a brief instant, the teacher dreaded Hans von Ripper's... Not Von. For a brief instant, the teacher dreaded Hans van Ripper's wrath because it was his best saddle, but this was no time for petty worries. The horseman was hot on his heels, and he was a poor rider before the added challenge of riding bareback. He feared the high ridge of the horse's spine would split him in half. An opening in the trees gave him hope the church's bridge was near. A reflection in the brook confirmed his suspicion. The church walls dimly glared under the trees beyond. He would be safe if he reached the bridge. Just then, he heard the black steed... Not Sneed. That's not a word, Danny. Okay. Let's try this again. Just then, he heard the black steed snorting behind... close behind. Okay, we got this. Just then he heard the black steed snorting close behind and even felt his hot breath. With another convulsive kick in the ribs, Gunpowder sprang onto the bridge. He thundered over the reverberating planks. Okay. He thundered over the reverberate... I hate R words. You know, funny story, sidetrack. When I was in kindergarten, I had to take speech therapy because I couldn't say my R's. I could not pronounce R words. So, but it was funny because like when I would sing, I was able to sing the R words. So my speech therapist in kindergarten, she would have me sing the R words and then say them. That was kind of a cool exercise. I'm not going to sing this word. I do that sometimes when I can't pronounce a word or something. I'll kind of sing it out when I'm by myself, but reverberating. Okay, cool. Okay, where was I? And if anything, I'll just go back and redo the sentence. Okay. He thundered over the reverberating planks and looked back to see if his pursuer would vanish in a flash or... We're not redoing that one, okay. He thundered over the reverberating planks and looked back to see if his pursuer would vanish in a flash of fire and brimstone as the legend claimed. Instead, he witnessed the specter rising in his stirrups, preparing to throw his head at him. Ichabod tried to dodge the horrible missile, but he was too late. It crashed into his head, knocking him face first to the dirt. Gunpowder, the black steed, and headless horseman passed by... Okay. It crashed into his head, knocking him face first into the dirt. Gunpowder, the black steed, and headless horseman passed by like a whirlwind. The next morning, the old horse was found eating grass at his master's gate, without a saddle, and his bridle was under his feet. Ichabod did not appear at breakfast or dinner. The boys gathered at the schoolhouse and strolled along the brook, but there was no schoolmaster. Hans Van Ripper began to feel uneasy about Ichabod and his saddle. An investigation began, and they soon found traces of his passage. The trampled saddle was in the road before the church, and the horse's deep tracks led to the bridge. Once across, Ichabod's hat was discovered lying near the brook, next to a shattered pumpkin. The brook was searched, but the teacher's body was not found. As the executor of his estate, Hans Van Ripper examined the only sack of possessions he owned. It contained clothes, a rusty razor, a worn hymnal, and a broken pitch pipe. Everything in the schoolhouse belonged to the community except for Cotton Mather's History of Witchcraft, a New England almanac, and a book about dreams and fortune-telling. Folded inside the last was Folded inside was a scrap of paper filled with several fruitless attempts to love poetry dedicated to Katrina. Hans immediately burned both books and the poems, deciding... Hans immediately burned both books and poems, deciding his children would never go to school again. He never understood what use reading or writing could serve. Any money the teacher possessed must have been in his pockets. The mysterious event caused much speculation at church on the following Sunday. Clusters of people gathered to gossip in the churchyard, at the bridge, and where the shattered pumpkin was found. The current circumstances were compared to the stories of Brower Bones and all others. It was soon concluded that Ichabod was carried off by the galloping... It was soon concluded that Ichabod was carried off by the galloping Hessian. Since he was a bachelor who didn't own any debts, no one worried of it. Oh my gosh. Last few paragraphs. Okay. We're going to take a sip here. Hold on. Okay. Since he was a bachelor who didn't owe any debts, no... Did I say debt? Debts. Yeah, I said that right. Okay. Whoa, that word looked weird for a second. Sorry. Okay. Since he was a bachelor who didn't owe any debts, no one worried any more about it. The school was relocated to a different corner of the hollow, and a new teacher was assigned. An old farmer visited New York several years. Oh, I went way too fast. Hold on. We need to pause there. Okay. The school was relocated to a different corner of the hollow, and a new teacher was assigned. An old farmer visited New York several years later and returned with gossip that Ichabod Crane was still alive. It was said he left the neighborhood partly for fear of the Hessian and Hans, partly from shame at Katerina's dismissal. He moved across the country, studied law, was admitted to the bar, became an elected politician, wrote for newspapers, and was finally made a court justice. Brom Bones married Katrina shortly after his... Brom Bones married Katrina shortly after his rival's disappearance, and the way he laughed when anyone mentioned the pumpkin incident led many to believe he knew more about the matter than he admitted. The old country wives, however, who are the best judges in these matters, maintain Ichabod was spirited away by supernatural means. It is a favorite tale told often around the winter fires. The bridge was feared by the superstitious more than ever. In later years, the road was altered to approach the church by the mill pond. The deserted schoolhouse soon fell into decay. I don't like how I said that. The deserted schoolhouse soon fell into decay and was rumored to be haunted by the unfortunate teacher. The plowboy sometimes claimed to hear distant voices singing hymns on his evening walks home alone. Nope, I said that whole sentence wrong. Okay, let's do that again. Okay. The deserted schoolhouse soon fell into decay and was rumored to be haunted by the unfortunate teacher. The plowboy sometimes claimed to hear a distant voice singing hymns on his evening walks home alone. No. Okay. The plowboy sometimes claimed to hear a distant voice singing hymns on his evening walks home along. Why can't I say along? That's so weird. Okay. Sorry, this is the last sentence. I don't know why I can't say it. Okay. I swear I can read, guys. Okay. The plowboy sometimes claimed to hear a distant voice singing hymns on his evening walks home alone. What is wrong with me right now? I think it's the way I'm saying it. It's not flowing right. Let me redo this whole part. Okay. The deserted schoolhouse soon fell into decay and was rumored to be haunted by the unfortunate teacher. The plowboy sometimes claimed to hear a distant voice singing hymns on his evening walks home along the tranquil roads of Sleepy Hollow. I'm going to redo that after. But that's it. That is the story. That is the story. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's see. What people are cold? Let's see. Oh, in the story. Duh. Okay, I'm like, what people are cold? Yeah, I know. Okay. Love fun facts. What Rugrats? What are we talking about? Thank you so much, Paige. Sorry, I feel like I could have done a lot better. I'm a little rusty on being live, but it'll sound better once it's edited up. I guarantee. Sometimes I have a feeling I might like scrap it and like just read the whole thing. I don't know. We'll see. No regret. Oh, okay. So, no regrets was originally coined referring to coffee. No Rugrats. Okay. There it is. I was like, what Rugrats? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Duchess. Thank you. Yeah, that was fun. So now that part's over, we can just chill for a bit. Live is hard as fuck, no matter what, you killed it. Oh, thank you so much, Paige. That means a lot because I know you adapted it, so, you know. But yeah, Paige and I have some really fun stuff coming up for Halloween, so stay tuned for that. That's why I kind of like love Halloween so much. You do so many collaborations with different narrators and different writers. Although it's not part of my Halloween, 13 Nights of Halloween, I'm working with Scott Donnelly again. I love Scott's work. Scott and Paige. Rose, I love his writing too. Who else? There's just so many people who write so well. I just, yeah, Boris is really good. But yeah, I was actually talking to Mr. Dreadful last night about how I was going to organize my channel for Halloween, and I started talking about like Paige's work, and then I went on a tangent about how much I love her work and how it's easy to narrate her stuff because it's just like, I don't know, it's so readable. I don't know, for me personally, like I could just get into the flow of it and just go. So awesome. I'll put on a little bit of spooky music so that it's not like dead sounds. Oh yeah, and yesterday, was it yesterday? No, Friday night, I was on Grave Matters, which is a podcast with Philia Noctis and who else is it? Sleeping Wendigo and Creepy Clown Girl. So that was really fun, and kind of just talked about stuff. They asked questions. I was so tired. Oh yeah, that was night. I had been up since 4 o'clock in the morning, and the show started at I think like 9 or 10. I was exhausted, and they were asking me questions, and thank God it was not on camera. It was just off camera, and they were asking me questions, and I swear I was just like, I felt like, for lack of a better term, I felt like an airhead doing that interview because I just could not come up with any good answers, and I was stumbling over my words, and I was so tired. And then Baby started crying, and I was like, guys, I gotta go because Baby's, he's crying. I have to go get to him. So, because it was one of those nights where he just would not stop crying unless I was holding him. So we have those nights sometimes, and I was like, I have to go. Let's see. You're welcome, Rose. Let's see. I can't do any Halloween special. I cannot keep a secret unless someone is making me. I would just announce everything the second I thought of it if I didn't collab. I'm so bad. Seriously, I told myself probably 6 or 7 times tonight, don't talk about 13 Nights of Halloween, because if I don't end up doing it, if something happens where I can't record 13 videos, I don't want to let people down. And I feel so confident that I'm going to be able to record everything. I just blurted it out. So Paige, you're a good girl. Like, it's we're the same person. We have so much, like, we really do, like, have so much in common. Oh, it's okay that you missed it. Like I said, I felt like such an airhead, and my answers weren't that great. Derek helped me out with an answer, actually, because they were like, one of the questions was, what was it? If, okay, yeah, like, you're put on, like, death row, which, it's a morbid question, but it was actually really fun, to answer. The question was, like, you're put on death row, what's your last meal? How are you going to be executed, and what did you do to get there? Like, what did you do that was so bad that they put you on death row? Yeah, that was pretty. Rose, dead on. Like, hit the nail on the head for that one. What's the favorite? I couldn't even think of any. I forgot. But yeah, so going back to the story, so I couldn't think of, like, how I would have been, why I was going to be executed. And so I was like, I'm just gonna be creative. And I said, I'll leave that up to the audience. And Derek, lifesaver over here, he's like, oh, because you went and decorated everyone's house for Halloween and it scared them too much. And then I just, like, I died laughing. I was like, thank you. Yep, that sounds about right. And then he said another one, which was really nice. And he's like, for being an underrated narrator, I think he said something nice like that. But by that point I was so checked out because I was so tired and I felt bad. And there's another guest on with me, Fell Purpose. He's really cool. His name is James. I read a short poem for him on his channel that he wrote, and so he's cool. So I would say it was interesting, to say the least. But yeah, they were asking me questions and I just could not answer it. One, we played a game. It was tell 2 truths and 1 lie. And I put something stupid, like one of my truths was Danny Dreadful retired her purple hair. And I did, because I don't have purple hair. But people couldn't see that. Like, if you don't follow me on, like, my other platforms, they couldn't see that I don't have purple hair anymore. So, you know, I don't know. Key lime pie with a key in it. And I killed the leader of... As for execution, nah. Cool. Yeah, it was pretty much, It was craziness. I don't remember. I really don't even remember, like, half of it. But the thing about it, too, is that on Friday I was having, not a rough day with Baby Dreadful, but he was being cranky, and I just felt, like, very on edge. Like, I was listening in to make sure, like, he wasn't going crazy, because Mr. Dreadful did come in. He was like, yeah, I need your help. Like, he's not going to sleep. He wants his mom, and obviously my main priority is my baby. So, you know, if I have to stop a stream or something, it just has to be. But they completely understood, and, like, that's why Philia is so sweet, and she was just like, yeah, go, you know, we get it. So, but yeah, that's a good question though. What would be your last meal if you I don't want to be morbid and say if you were being executed, but if you were being executed, what's your last meal? Because it is still a dreadful stream, right? We're still creepy here. So I said that my meal would be a sushi feast, and that was actually my first meal. No, that's a lie. That wasn't my first meal after baby was born, because he was born at 12:54 a.m. So, oh yeah, wow. I was actually, yeah, it's crazy. So, I was just thinking, I was like, wow, it's Sunday. So he's gonna be 2 months on Friday. I cannot believe it. I was just looking at the date and I was like, holy cow, he's gonna be 2 months already. That's insane. But yes, if yeah, so I said sushi feast, and then so for my big meal after baby was born, my husband, Mr. Dreadful, bought me an entire, like, I can't even tell you how much sushi there was, and I ate every damn piece of sushi because I was just so excited. I hadn't had sushi in 9 months. I was so excited. But my first meal after he was born, since he was born at 12:54 a.m., I wasn't allowed to eat, and they didn't have the cafeteria open, I guess it's called cafeteria, right? The hospital. They didn't have the food place open. So I had to wait until like 6 a.m. when it opened. So my first meal was pancakes. One thing about my pregnancy was I had this thing called like gestational diabetes, where I wasn't allowed to eat pretty much any sugar or carbs for the most part. So I was just on like a meat and veggies diet. Carbs, I mean, like, veggies are carbs, obviously, but I mean, like, the bad carbs, like the pasta, the good carbs, the good bad carbs, the pasta, the rice, all that stuff. So I wasn't allowed to eat that kind of stuff. So the first thing I wanted, I was just like, you know, I want carbs. So I had pancakes and bacon, and they were amazing. I remember just eating the first bite and being like, oh my god, this is amazing. So Mexican restaurant menu. Yes, Mexican food is so good. Cannibalism? Nope. Definitely not. Hell no. Because no. Okay. There are these brownies that I'm obsessed with. there's this grocery store by us called HEB. It's a Texas grocery store. They have the absolute best brownies I've ever had in my life. No joke. Like, no joke. So that was on my list. So I made a list of things to eat after baby was born. And I really just started calming down with my diet again. Like, it's been a week, yes. So last Sunday I was like, okay, things are getting out of hand. I need to go back to working out and keto for a little bit, because I do really well with no carbs, so it's not a big deal for me. Plus, there's so many like sugar-free and keto options now. It's not even a hard diet to follow, but it was crazy because I was like getting those brownies pretty much like every night and like eating them. I was being really bad. So I've been falling asleep and pushing gibberish. Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Paige, for coming, though. Seriously. I'll talk to you on Discord later. I'll look at your video, too. Excited to see it. And yes, as I promised you, I will be doing a story, one of your stories, either this week for this video or next week's video, but it'll be done. Have a good night. Dr. Pepper brownies. Just take the brownie mix and replace the water with a soda, and diet works too. You know, Rose, you know what I did? Instead of I did a pumpkin brownie. So it was basically the same thing. Instead of adding the eggs and the oil, I just replaced that with pumpkin. They came out so good. So they didn't taste, okay, they tasted like brownies, but you know how like the consistency at the edges are supposed to be like nice and crispy, kind of, not crispy, but wrong word. They're supposed to be nice, and they were just chewy. These brownies were like straight up chewy, so I was calling them pumpkin brownie bars because I didn't feel like they were actually brownies, so I put the bars word in there so you don't expect them to be, you know, brownie-ish, but they were delicious. They were really good. And then there's actually a keto Duncan Hines brownie mix that I might get and mix the pumpkin in with that and some pumpkin spice, because that's what you have to do. You have to do the pumpkin and then you have to do the pumpkin spice, not the pumpkin pie mix, because it's just different. So yes. I guess it is really fudgy, so maybe we can call it pumpkin fudge. We'll call it pumpkin fudge. Oh, and let me save this, because knowing me, I will like forget to save it. I'll close it out, and then we'll lose my whole recording of Sleepy Hollow, and then I'll have to redo it. But like I said, I might actually just, if I don't like how this sounds, I might just scrap it and redo the whole thing, because it might actually be easier instead of going back and editing everything that I messed up to just redo it. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, they were really good, Duchess. They're so easy. It's just take a whole can of pumpkin, and like, I think I did 2 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice, and then the brownie batter, and just mix it together. Put it in a baking dish, oil it up, and then throw it in the oven. Pumpkin fudge. Yeah, I'm getting hungry now. But yeah, so that was, I've been doing a lot of like fun creations. I created a new channel. I haven't had I'm so crazy sometimes. Like I think I have all these really good ideas, but executing them sometimes, it's just, life happens. So I made a new channel called Living Dreadfully, and it's supposed to be like Halloween hauls and baking, and I want to do movie reviews on there, so that actually I might do, but it's more like of a lifestyle. Anything that doesn't fit on this channel with narrations, I want to do on that channel, because I feel like my subscribers come to my channel for narrations only, and they would be like, what is this? Why are you doing all this extra stuff? The only time I'll kind of veer off from my regular narrations is during Halloween time. Like, for instance, I'm going to be doing like a get ready with me video again with Halloween makeup like I did last year, but it's going to be getting ready with me with a story behind it, so I feel like that would be on this channel. But I don't want to kind of put everything on this channel. So Danny Dreadful is like my main channel, and then it's like the umbrella where Living Dreadfully is going to be under it. So that's a great idea. Or like a Black-Eyed Children narration, and like have him be creepy in the background with his little coos, and then maybe like edit the coos to like sound evil. That would be fun. Danny, that sounds epic. I'm about to eat some dinner, thank goodness, but you did fantastic. Thank you so much for coming, Darkest AJ. I'm gonna call you Darkest AJ. Just kidding. But I'll talk to you soon. We have to catch up more. I miss you. Have a lovely night. Yes, I'm looking so forward to that. Yeah. Awesome, Wolf. That is a total win. I love when you see like the video uploading. Oh, it's so good. It's the best feeling ever, because you're like, yay, I accomplished something today. That's how I feel anyway. Yeah, so let's see. I'm like, I haven't had my background this cool in a while, so I'm really just like staring at the background. I was like, this is so fun. It's fun. I'll have to take a close-up of like the tablecloth. It has like skulls and like witchy things on it. There's like a sun, a moon, a palm. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm like, I love Halloween. So what's everyone being for Halloween? That's a fun question. If anyone wants to drop in the chat what you're being for Halloween. Just checking. Okay. Cool. Oh, look for my Insta post. Absolutely, I will. Well, I'll go first. I'll let you all know. I'm being 2 things. Well, I guess 3. So I'm actually going to a haunted soiree. Actually, it is haunted. It's in an actual haunted house, which is really cool. We went last year. We went as a group, but this year, since you know, we don't want to leave baby with a babysitter or anything. Mr. Dreadful is being amazing and telling me to have a girls' night, so I'm going with my best friend, and we're gonna go to, it's a soiree, so you get all dressed up like gothically, I guess, and then you just kind of like, they give you drink tickets and you go into different cocktail stations. Not really going for the drinks, I'm going more for the experience, so I feel like I'll probably have one of the mini cocktails and then just give the rest of the tickets to either my friend or just some random people. Like I did that last year. I had an extra ticket, and I gave it to someone. We were leaving. I was like, oh, we're leaving. Do you want these? And they were like, oh my god, thank you. So I'll probably end up doing something like that. But I just go for the experience. It's so cool. Actually, I got a story out of it last year. Lashai was one of my shorts that I did. That was a fun story. What are you for Halloween? On the run. Don't ask why. I'm not going out, just hanging out at home. Cool. Yeah, I'm baby is going to be Oogie Boogie from Nightmare Before Christmas. So I based our Halloween costumes around that. So I'm being Sally, Mr. Dreadful is being Jack, and Anakin is being Zero. So we have all of our costumes. This is actually the first year in about 12 years that I'm not making my own costume. No, more than that. Probably close to 15 years that I'm not making my own costume. So I'm like, I forgot how old I was for a minute, because I was like 15. No, that wasn't. No, but yeah, about 15 years I'm not making my own costume. I'm doing my own makeup though, but I just I couldn't find good pieces to put together a Sally costume, so I ended up just buying one, and it's really cute, so it's fine. I wonder if that would be his first word, oogie boogie. I hope not. I hope it's mama. My sister went through it. The bug eating phase, like babies eating bugs. Oh no. I'm learning so much. I don't Google things because I mean, sometimes I have to Google things, but for the most part, I'll ask my best friend because she has 2 beautiful little girls, and I'm always like, what do I do? What does this mean? Is this poop okay? Like, what color is it supposed to be? That was actual conversation the other day because I wasn't sure if his poopy was okay, and I got freaked out. So I was like, I don't want to send you a picture, but I can describe it. So best friends, right? What would you do without them? But yeah, we're learning a lot. We're learning so much, Mr. Dreadful and I. Well, Mr. Dreadful has a lot more experience than I do because he helped raise his brothers. I did not. I'm the baby of the family, so I really don't have much experiences with babies. But when I tell you, like, I learned quick. I'm like, okay, these are his cues. And he just, oh my god, it was so cute. So today, I almost messaged Derek about this because I like telling Derek so much about babies because I don't know why. But anyway, so Baby Dreadful has now located his hands, which is great. Like, that's a thing. Like, he found his hand, so he's been sucking on his hand. So today, he had his hand in his mouth, and he was really content. He took his hand out of his mouth and started hysterical crying because he wanted his hand back in his mouth. And I don't know, I just found that so funny. And I'm like, dude, like, just put your hand back in your mouth. It's okay. It's attached to you. And I actually said that to him. Like, you know, I was like, it's like, baby, just put your hand back. It's attached to you. This is attached to you. You put it in your mouth, it's fine. You know, you wave it around, that's your hand. And then, like, he put it back in his mouth and he was fine. But I just found that so funny. Babies are just so, they don't know, everything's so new to them. So it's just funny seeing things through his eyes. But I was just laughing hysterically. I was like, you're crying because you took your hand out of your mouth. But, you know. What is that noise? Hold on, I'm gonna pause the music. One second, guys. I don't know what that was, if that was fireworks or what, but I just heard Mr. Dreadful open the door. I'm just gonna text him real quick and ask him what is going on. Hold on. I'm gonna put my be right back screen on, and we'll be right back, okay? Okay, sorry, we're back. Yeah, that was weird. It sounded like, fireworks or thunder or gunshots or something, but I don't know, that was weird. It was like a rumbling. So I got a little nervous, and then I heard Mr. Dreadful open the door. I was like, what are you doing? Why are you opening the door? Are you okay? He just said, his response was, I don't know, bro. That's how we talk to each other. It's okay. Okay. Sometimes his creepy crawlies. Yeah, I'm sure. Second born, an older sister. It's Texas, so take your pick. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why Maybe people are just excited. Maybe I'm going to say it's fireworks and people are just so excited that it's October that they're setting off fireworks. There you go. That's probably what it was. Yeah, that's pretty much, yep. Wolf, that's pretty much it. I don't know, bro. But, yeah. Yeah, so, wow, we went over 2 hours. And I kept, see, I never stick to my word, like, in terms of stuff in a good way sometimes, where I'm like, it's only going to be an hour. And look at that, my camera didn't die this time. Lone Wolf, I think you were in that stream, and Anthony, maybe Rose, you were there too, but my camera overheated and died. And after the stream, I was so upset. Like, I was pregnant, so that's probably why. Like, I had, like, crazy hormones, and I started crying, and Mr. Dreadful got me a new, like, some kind of, I think it's called a dummy battery, where it extends the life of your, so it doesn't overheat. But, oh my god, I was so embarrassed and upset that my stream just, like, stopped because my camera just overheated. And I have a really good camera, so I was really upset. But it wasn't even like an hour and a half, and I think it just ended, and I was like, oh my god, so embarrassing. So then I said, oh, okay, I'll just do a part 2, no big deal. Nope, that didn't happen. Baby Dreadful came, and I was like, yep, okay, that's right. Okay, so it was a 4th of July stream. That was my last stream. And then I kept saying, like, I'm going to do another one. And every time I was attempting to do it, I was just like, I'm too tired, or I don't feel good today, you know. So I never did the Haunted America one, part 2. So maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do another stream. But what would you guys like to see on stream, actually? Like, give me some ideas. I love hearing from you. I'm happy to do whatever. I don't know that I'll do another live reading for a long time. Don't get me wrong, I like live readings. They're cool and everything, but I feel like I can't interact with you guys as much, so I would rather do something more interactive. So maybe another game. We love playing games on this channel. We did Pick Your Poison. We did Morbid Curiosity. Maybe we can do like a trivia game or something cool. So maybe. We are now in, maybe it's Halloween, people taking a stand against those cursed Christmas decorations springing up. That is very possible. Maybe, let's see, we are now in the holiday trinity. What we have is 3 connecting points filled with excess horror and sugar because calories don't count during the holidays. Baking, we could do Pick Your Poison round 2. We could do that. That would be fun too. Baking. So what do you mean, like baking like on camera, or like I can come up with something maybe, or like give recipes, ideas. But I do want to try to do a stream once a week, at least through October. So yeah, so actually the Pick Your Poison game, I have to go through the cards because some of them were they were a little not suitable for work type of cards, and I didn't know that when I bought the game. I thought it was just like fun poison questions. I don't know. I thought it was, I don't know. But yeah, we can. Oh, thank you, Rose. And yeah, exactly. Yeah, you remember Lone Wolf. There were some of these cards were just like, what? So I'll have to know what I'll do. I'll like, since I want to like kind of pick them out randomly, yeah, I'll go through them and I'll pick out like a bunch of them that aren't terrible, and then we can do that. That's fun. Yeah, I'll definitely come up with a baking idea that we can incorporate on the stream. That would be cool. Because the only thing is, I don't want to like bake live because then I have to be downstairs in my kitchen, and that's a lot of work with the setup and everything. So we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, this was really fun. I love you guys. I'm gonna call it a night because Mama Dreadful is tired. I have to wake up in a few. Not even wake up. I don't even know. Today's Sunday, right? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I got a lot to do tomorrow. So I still have about 20 something pages left of the Friday the 13th story that I'm doing. I've got to get Wolfie his collaboration over, which I have a story finally. Sorry, getting that to you very soon. And then I have like 5 or 6 more collaborations that I'm doing this season. So I gotta get on it. I actually owe Horror on the Rock something too. Okay. Having a super long hangnail or having a really itchy ear. Ooh, that one's hard. Having a really super long hangnail. I think I would say having a hangnail because at least you don't have to like constantly itch your ear. You know what I mean? It's like, like, oh, now I'm itchy. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, cool. Well, I love you guys. Thank you so much, my beautiful creepy people. I will see you again soon. And I'm going to have a premiere this week as well for a story. And Duchess will be featured in the next video that I put out. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you shortly. Bye, guys. Love you.